Hello everyone and welcome to Retail Archaeology. Today we'll be taking a look at Mekong Plaza in Mesa, Arizona. Now, having grown up in Mesa, I thought I knew about all of the malls that were located in Mesa, Arizona, and this might look like an ordinary strip mall from the outside, but hiding inside there is an actual 100,000 square foot indoor mall. This was my first trip to Mekong Plaza, and one of the first things I noticed were all the statues that were around. Statues aren't something I commonly see at malls anymore, so it's pretty neat to see quite a few of them here, and we'll see some more throughout the video. If you haven't guessed already, Mekong Plaza is an Asian cultural mall, and believe it or not, Arizona is second in the nation for Asian population growth, with quite a bit of that growth being concentrated in Mesa and nearby Chandler. So this mall being located in Mesa actually makes perfect sense. In the past, there was an old Target located here, but Mekong Plaza took its place in October of 2008. And as of 2019, it's pretty much fully occupied. It also seems to get very busy here. All of the businesses operating in here are locally owned mom and pop shops and restaurants. This mall even has a travel agency and a dentist's office. It also has one anchor, the Mekong Supermarket, which we're looking at the front of here. And we can also see a nice laughing Buddha statue, another one of the many statues throughout the mall. We'll take a closer look at the Mekong Supermarket later on in the video, but first let's take a look at a little bit more of the mall itself. I actually really like the tile throughout the mall, including things like that tile mosaic there. And look, just like every other mall, they've got massage chairs, except for it looks like people are actually using these ones. Now, seeing this display in front of this store kind of stirred mall memories from the 80s and 90s, when you used to see like the little yipping, flipping puppy and the ferret chasing the ball and other mechanical toys operating in front of KB Toys. This store seemed to carry an interesting and eclectic collection of different items. Let's take a closer look. First, we'll take a closer look at the display out front, and this really reminded me of my childhood. You see that toy there with the animals climbing up the stairs and going down the slides? I had the same thing when I was a kid, but they were penguins. Inside the store itself, there is a large selection of Asian-themed products, including those anime statues there. And they've got a huge display of these waving cats. I've always kind of wanted to have one of those. I love seeing those like in Chinese food restaurants and stuff. There's just lots and lots of jade and gold coloring all over the place, and I happen to like both those colors. Got your bamboo plants there. These Asian gift stores seem to be popping up quite a bit in a lot of malls, but I don't think I've ever seen one quite this big or with such a big selection of stuff. Some of it is pretty interesting, like this, I guess you could call it a diorama. And lots more gold and jade. I think everybody has some of these bamboo plants in their house, and for a second out of the corner of my eye I thought there was a real butterfly floating around, but it's just attached to one of those plants. And here's another one of the many statues throughout the mall. Like I said, I really do like seeing these. It's almost kind of like a mini art exhibit inside the mall. And here's a makeup store that just looked aesthetic as hell to me with the pink lighting and everything. I really do love that all the shops in here are locally owned and operated. Now here's what I guess you could call a kiosk or a mega kiosk, because it's very big, but it's not its own shop, and it seems to sell a lot of Asian artwork, pottery, and Asian themed furniture. Here's a closer look at some of the pottery. And the furniture actually seemed really nice. It's not anything that would match my house, but it seemed to be fairly sturdy. And I don't think any of it is mass produced. Now, through this entryway, it gives you easy access to the Mekong Supermarket, and you can see all of the shopping carts lined up there for it. And the Mekong Supermarket carries so much stuff, it kind of spills out into the mall a little bit. The Mekong Supermarket itself is 38,000 square feet, and it feels like about the same size as a normal grocery store, just heavily Asian themed. It carries products from Vietnam, China, Korea, Japan, Thailand, amongst other Asian countries. Here we're looking at the fresh seafood section, and they actually have live fish and stuff in those tanks back there. And let me tell you, this part of the store really did smell like a fish market, but that's okay. That's what a fish market is supposed to smell like, and your nose does adjust to it after a few minutes. This was kind of interesting to see. Here are eggs from all different kinds of birds. They've got chicken eggs, of course, but duck, geese, pretty much any type of bird and fowl you can think of. The produce section is also really impressive, with produce from all over the world. I saw a lot of stuff in here I've never seen before. For example, this is jackfruit, which I wasn't familiar with, but Mark was, and apparently this can be used as a meat substitute. So I kind of want to try it now. I'm just not sure how to prepare it. I'll have to do some reading on the internet. And of course I had to go take a look at the beer and wine section, and there's a lot of beer from Japan here, which I am a huge fan of. So now I know where to go to find beer from Japan, and not just the small selection that grocery stores have of like maybe a case of Sapporo or something. And they also carry my favorite canned coffee, UCC canned coffee. This stuff is delicious. You just pop it in the fridge. That's how I drink it, and drink it cold, and it's so good, and I'm glad that they have lots of it here. And here's something I've never seen before either, a big giant bag of MSG. I was glad to see that the store was really busy, and I'm glad to find another Asian market near me because I have a hard time finding UCC canned coffee, so I'm glad I have another place to look. And speaking of coffee, I had to get an iced Vietnamese coffee from this boba tea place here. It was absolutely fantastic, probably the best iced coffee I've had in years. And here's another interesting store that we found. I'm not sure how to pronounce that or what it means, but it seemed to be similar to that Asian gift store, but with more of a focus on more ornate pieces and lots of gold. So much gold. This was probably the quietest store in the whole mall. And we'll wrap things up by taking a look at the food court, which is one of my favorite parts of a mall. And this one is really great. There's a restaurant that takes up about half of it. That's what all these nicely set tables are for. And it seems to be very popular, and stuff just smelled fantastic. It was also interesting to see all these Asian themed newspapers here. You don't see newspapers that much anymore. The other half of the food court is more dedicated to what I would consider more typical food court fare, except for with an Asian flair. You can see the tables aren't nicely set and everything. But again, everything just smelled really good. This might be one of the main reasons that I return to this mall time and time again, is just to try all these different places. I hope you've enjoyed this tour of Mekong Plaza. I know I was really excited to find it. It's one of the most interesting malls I've been to in a very long time. And I'm sure I'll be coming back here many times. As always, everyone, thanks for watching. Want to see your name here? Head on over to patreon.com/retailarchaeology to find out how you can help support the channel. Hey everyone, thanks for checking out my tour of Mekong Plaza in Mesa, Arizona. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons, and also make sure to follow at the social media links down there because that's the best way to keep up with what's going on with the channel.